The money formula the rich actually use. Do you know why 90% of Americans work their entire lives but still can't escape the financial rat race, while the remaining 10% live free and wealthy? They've lied to you. They told you to work hard, save every penny, and hope for retirement. But the truth is, the wealthy don't play by those rules. They have a simple formula, a system that anyone can apply. But no one taught you in school. I spent over 20 years studying self-made billionaires, from Warren Buffett to unknown millionaires. And I discovered they all follow the same rule, the 15 to 65-20 rule. This isn't complex theory or a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a simple mathematical formula that, if applied correctly, will make your bank account grow automatically, regardless of your age. Today, I'm going to share this formula with you. If you're tired of worrying about money, if you want to retire without anxiety, stay right here. Now, let's discover the first secret together. Principle 1. 15%. Invest for the future. Let me ask you a straightforward question. Are you working for money or making money work for you? This is the dividing line between the wealthy and those forever chasing a paycheck. And the first secret in the 15-65-20 rule will completely transform how you view money. 15% of your income must be dedicated to the future, not if there's anything left over, but mandatory from your very first paycheck. I know what you're thinking. 15%? I don't even have enough to pay my bills. But this is the fatal mistake that 90% of Americans make. They spend first, then save what's left, and the result? There's never anything left. The wealthy do the opposite. They pay themselves first. Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire by spending all his income. He always invested first, spent later. And this isn't a genius's story. This is a principle that anyone can apply. So where does this 15% go? It's divided into two parts, as crucial as the two wings of a bird: the emergency fund and income-generating investments. The emergency fund is your safety cushion. Money set aside for unexpected shocks like job loss, illness, or car repairs. Never invest before you have this fund, because life always has surprises, and if you're not prepared, you'll have to withdraw your investments at exactly the wrong time, when you're losing money. The golden rule: save at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Once you have this fund, the remaining portion of the 15% begins to work its magic, the income-generating investment part. And this is where I want you to pay close attention, because what I'm about to say could change your entire financial future. There's an invisible force, a mathematical magic, that Einstein once called the eighth wonder of the world. That's compound interest. This isn't complex theory. This is a brutal reality. If you don't understand it, you'll pay compound interest to others your entire life through credit card debt, car loans, and consumer loans. But if you understand and harness it, you'll turn time into your strongest ally. To show you its power, let me tell you about Sarah and James, two friends of the same age, same income, but completely opposite financial destinies. Sarah is 30 years old, and she decides to start investing $10,000 in a market index fund with an average return of 8% per year. She doesn't invest another cent, just lets that money grow over time. James is different. He's busy with life, procrastinates until age 40 to start, and he decides to invest double, $20,000. Who do you think will have more money when they're 65? The answer will shock you. Sarah has more money. Double. That's right. Despite investing half as much, Sarah has something money can't buy: time. Over 35 years, her $10,000 has multiplied to over $147,000. And James? With 25 years of investing, his $20,000 only grew to about $137,000. This isn't magic. This is pure mathematics. Every year you delay, you're stealing thousands of dollars from your own future. Now you understand why the wealthy never say, "I'll invest when I have more money." They say, "I invest right now, so I'll have more money later." And they don't invest randomly. They prioritize tax-advantaged accounts like 401k, Roth IRA, tools that allow your money to grow without the government trimming your profits. They choose passive index funds, investing in the entire market instead of trying to guess which stocks will rise. Why? Because research proves over 90% of professional fund managers cannot beat the S&P 500 index fund in the long term. If experts paid millions of dollars can't do it, why would you think you can? Here's the truth no one wants to tell you. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You need to start investing to become rich. Whether you're 45, 50, or even 60 years old, you still have time. 15 years of proper investing can still create a massive difference between a comfortable retirement and an anxious retirement. The only question is, will you take action today or regret it tomorrow? Principle 2, 65% basic living expenses. Now that you know how to pay your future with the first 15%, let's talk about the largest portion in the formula. 65% for basic living expenses. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But this is the real test of your financial self-control. Because in today's world, where advertisements bombard you 24/7, where everyone on Instagram seems to be living a perfect life, the ability to control spending is the dividing line between freedom and financial slavery. Let me be straight with you. 65% isn't a random number. This is the optimal ratio that financial researchers discovered after analyzing thousands of self-made millionaires. They don't spend 80%, don't spend 90% of their income on daily life. They keep it at a level sufficient to live comfortably, but not wastefully. And sufficient here includes 4 indispensable pillars: housing, transportation, food, and basic utilities like electricity, water, and internet. That's it. No designer handbags, no new car every 3 years, no lavish parties every weekend. But here's what's frightening. Most people don't fail because they overspend on one big thing. They fail because of a silent disease called lifestyle inflation. Do you know how it works? You get a 20% raise. Instead of saving that extra 20%, you upgrade to a bigger apartment, you buy a new car, you eat out more, you subscribe to more services, Netflix, Spotify, and a gym you never visit. And suddenly, despite increased income, you're still living just enough like before, even more stressed. This is the trap that the wealthy avoid like the plague. I once met a friend, let's call him Mike. Mike earned $120,000 a year, a number many people dream of. But he always complained about having no money. Why? Because he lived in a $3,500 a month house to be status appropriate, drove a leased BMW for $800 a month to make an impression, and ate out 5 times a week because he was busy. The result? Mike makes good money, but lives like a high-income poor person. No savings, no investments, just chasing an image. Compare that to my other friend, Lisa. Income of $75,000, living in a modest $1,200-month apartment, driving a paid-off 2015 Honda Civic, cooking at home 6 meals a week. Guess who's on the path to a comfortable retirement? Lisa. Guess who's anxious about money every night? Mike. Here's what the wealthy understand, but the poor never learn. True wealth isn't what you show off, it's what you keep. Warren Buffett, the man worth over $100 billion, still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Mark Zuckerberg drives a Honda Fit. Sam Walton, founder of Walmart, drove an old pickup truck until the day he died. They're not poor. They're just not foolish. They understand that an expensive car doesn't get you to your destination faster. It just gets you to bankruptcy faster. So how do you live comfortably on 65%? By making smart choices instead of impulsive ones. With housing, don't buy the biggest house the bank will approve. Buy a house 30% below your capacity. Living below your means doesn't mean living miserably. It means creating breathing room for your future. With transportation, you don't need a new car with a 6-year payment plan. A reliable used car, well-maintained, fully paid off, will take you everywhere without losing sleep over monthly payments. A 2018 Toyota Camry with 50,000 miles? Perfect. A 2024 BMW with a $700 a month loan? Financial disaster waiting to happen. And about food. This is where most people bleed money without realizing it. A $15 meal out seems harmless, but do that 5 times a week? That's $300 per month, $3,600 per year. Money you could invest and turn into $50,000 after 20 years. I'm not saying you have to eat instant noodles every day, but cooking at home doesn't just save money, it gives you control over your health and life. The wealthy understand this. They don't eat out to save time. They cook because they respect their money. Here's the challenge I want to give you. This month, track every dollar you spend. I guarantee you'll be shocked. You'll discover leaks, subscriptions you forgot to cancel, $5 coffees every morning, items bought because they were on sale but never used. And when you see the truth, you'll understand why 65% isn't a restriction. It's liberation. Because when you control this 65%, you'll have 15% to build your future and 20% to enjoy life without guilt. And that's a life worth living. Principle 3. 20% entertainment and enjoyment. You've learned how to invest in the future with 15%. Control your current life with 65%. And now comes the part many people think is luxury, but is actually the key to not giving up halfway. 20% for entertainment and enjoyment. Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? How can spending help you become wealthy? But this is exactly what most dry financial experts never tell you. And that's why 95% of financial plans fail in the first year. Let me tell you about Daniel, a friend who was once determined to retire early. He read every book on finance, cut all unnecessary expenses, and lived like a monk for 18 months. No eating out, no travel, no buying anything beyond bare necessities. Saved 60% of his income. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? Until one day, Daniel exploded. He bought an unnecessary 85-inch TV, impulsively booked a luxury $5,000 vacation, and returned to his old spending habits. Even worse. Why? Because Daniel tried to run a financial marathon while forgetting to breathe. And the body, as well as the mind, will always find a way to rebel. This is what I call financial burnout. When you're so harsh on yourself that your financial plan becomes a chain of torturous days instead of a path to freedom. And psychological research has proven humans cannot sustain continuous sacrifice without rewards. Our brains need dopamine, the feeling of instant pleasure, to maintain long-term motivation. If all you hear is "you can't," "not enough yet," "must wait," your brain will revolt and sabotage all your efforts. The wealthy understand this more deeply than anyone. They don't live like poor people waiting to become rich. They build a life worth living right in the journey to wealth. Tony Robbins, who has coached hundreds of millionaires, always emphasizes, if you don't learn to enjoy the process, you'll never enjoy the destination. And this 20% is your official license to live, breathe, and feel that life isn't just an account balance. So where should this 20% go? 3 important categories: hobbies, intentional shopping, and restorative vacations. Note the word intentional. This isn't money for impulsive shopping on Amazon at 2 a.m. or for therapy, by shopping every time you're sad. This is money for things that truly bring joy, connection, and meaning to your life. Do you love photography? Use this 20% to buy the camera you've always dreamed of. Do you love golf? Join a club without feeling guilty. Do you want to spend time with family? Book a vacation every quarter to create memorable moments. This isn't a waste. This is an investment in mental health and relationships, 2 things no amount of money can buy back when you've lost them. I once met a married couple, both accountants, extremely frugal and disciplined. They retired at 55 with $2.5 million, a respectable success. But when I asked them about the best memories from 30 years of work, they fell silent. No memorable trips, no nurtured hobbies, just 3 decades of working, saving, and waiting. And now, at 55, with health no longer robust, they're trying to make up for what they missed. But time waits for no one. Their children have grown up, parents have passed away, and friends have drifted apart. They're wealthy on paper, but poor in experiences. That's why this 20% isn't optional. It's mandatory, so you don't lose yourself in the journey to financial freedom. It's like a marathon runner who must drink water every mile. If they think, "I'll drink when I reach the finish line," they'll collapse before completing. The 20% is the sip of water that helps you keep running without exhausting yourself. And here's the magic. When you allow yourself to spend consciously on what you love, you actually save more in other areas. Why? Because you no longer feel deprived. You no longer shop to compensate for emotions. You no longer punish yourself with terrible spending decisions. You spend intentionally, enjoy every moment, and have no regrets. Remember, the goal isn't to die with the largest amount in your bank account. The goal is to live a fulfilling life without worrying about money. And this 20% is the bridge connecting today's sacrifice with tomorrow's dream. It reminds you that you are living, not just existing. It gives you a reason to continue when things get tough. And most importantly, it transforms your financial plan from a harsh diet into a sustainable lifestyle you can maintain until your last breath. So the question for you isn't, can I afford to spend 20% on entertainment? But can I afford not to spend this 20% and risk giving up halfway? The answer, I think, is clear. And that's the entire formula the wealthy use. 15% for the future, 65% for the present, 20% for the soul. Not magic, not luck, just simple mathematics and daily discipline. You don't need to be perfect from day one. Start with 10-60-30 if needed, then gradually adjust. What matters is that you start today, not tomorrow. If this video made you reconsider how you spend, make yourself one promise. This week, you will set up an automatic system to transfer 15% of your income to an investment account. Just that one small action can change your next 20 years. Comment Rich Mindset if you're ready to stop looking rich and start becoming truly wealthy. And if you want to know more financial strategies that the wealthy keep hidden, let me know in the comments below. Remember, small decisions today shape great destinies tomorrow. Wealth doesn't come from one breakthrough, but from thousands of correct choices. You have the formula. Now it's time to take action. Your future is waiting. Don't disappoint it.